Hello everyone. This is actually the second time I had to make this video. The last one didn't work out. Hopefully it's shorter this time. I just wanted to give you a very basic introduction to some of the Google programs. I have here open Google Slides, Google Docs, and Google Forms. This is just going to be covering how to open a document and to get started with the naming process, what the purpose of each one is, and then how to share it. So you're going to notice that all three have very similar starting pages. You're just going to see these templates and then that plus button for a blank, fresh page. Regardless of the program, that's just kind of how it's set up. There are other programs as well that Google does, and it operates very similarly. Now, when you open up one of the Google programs, you're going to notice that there are a lot of different options along the slides or along the side that aren't really available when you do the normal Microsoft version. Now, the key thing with Google programs are that they operate through the internet, which means two things. The first is that they save instantly, and the second is that they allow more than one person to work on it at a time, or to be shared kind of in mass ways, to have that collaboration just be in a larger scale than you would be normally doing through email. So you're going to notice up here that I can just click here to change the title, and I'm just going to say hi for my title, and as soon as I click out, you're going to see this saving button pop up. And so it just says that it was last edited seconds ago. And if I change anything else, like deleting this, you're going to see that again, saving pops up, and it just tells me that it was saved. That's the same thing here. When I click, all I have to do is change this title to maybe hello. And then as soon as I click out of it, that saving is going to happen. Same thing with Google Forms. It just all happens that way. And if you have multiple people working on it on the same at the same time, then you're just going to have that all happening simultaneously, where the saving is just taken care of for you. Now, moving forward from that, Google Slides is designed to be very similar to Microsoft PowerPoint in that you're creating a presentation. You can present it, and you have multiple slides you can do. You have animations, you have transitions, very similarly to what you can do in PowerPoint. They just don't have as many options. And so that's what this program is meant to do. The next one is Google Docs, which is just for operating like Word. This one's great for working together on proposals, schedules, anything like that. Just wonderful for this program. And then there are programs that Google offers that are not recreations of pre-existing Microsoft programs. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that, but that's what they've done. But Google Forms and Google Sites are two examples of those, where they're really designed to perform different features than what you would normally do just with a document. So those are just some of the different options that you have here. When you're going through and doing this, you can always edit the size by clicking on File, and I'll just move me here, and going down to click on Page Setup. That's still an option here, and you have that again here where you go to File and Page Setup. You go to, you don't need it here, it's just not applicable. So that's kind of that basic overview. Now, the key with these documents through Google is that you can share them. And so I wanted to just go over that real quickly before ending the video. You're going to see that you have this yellow share button on Slides, and it's blue here on Docs, and then on the Forms it's a send button, which is not share, it's send. And so this is going to be a little bit different. So we'll go over both forms. When you push share, you have two ways of sharing a Google document with someone. The first is by sharing it directly with their email, and the second is by looking at the link. Now, when you share it with somebody through their email, you have a couple of options. Actually, let me back up. This might not be quick, guys. I'm sorry. You have a couple of options, but before you do that, it's good to know that when you share it with somebody through their email, it does, of course, send them an email. but also it then links their email with their Google Drive account to this document. So it's not necessary that they open it through the email to access it, and they don't need that email to access it in the future. And so that's just what I wanted to preface with there. Now, this portion allows you to write a message. And I would recommend writing messages when you send these Google Documents to people. I know I don't always do that, so I'm kind of a little hypocritical there. But when you're trying to send it to a coworker or a parent or a student, it's really nice to have that attachment of what this is, so they're not just getting a notification from Google saying that you've had some kind of document shared with you. Now, when you share it with somebody, you can decide how their access will be. They can either just view the document, and when they do have only viewing access, they can still click on links and it'll take them to those websites. You can choose if they have commenting access, which means they can only view the document, but then they can use this little commenting button here to add in comments. Or you can have them be an editor. So what I'm going to do here is just select editor, and then I would push send. Now, since I don't want to actually wake her up with a message, I'm just going to send it to my personal email. Nope, that's not it. To kind of show you then what that would look like. I'm going to send it as an editor and push send. Don't forget that message. I know, guys. And so now you're going to see a person was added, and when I push open, you're going to see that that person's now there, and it tells you what type of access they have. That process is the exact same here with Google Docs. You're going to have that same process there. Now, I am the owner currently of this document. If you ever want to transfer ownership over, all you have to do is add someone as an editor and then change it so that they are an owner. And then it will give you just kind of a warning to say, if you do this, you're no longer going to be the one who owns it. You can push yes, and then you're going to create it so that you're the other person is the owner. So that's kind of that first step there. The second way to share it is to do just through a link. And this is a really great option if you're sharing it with multiple people, just kind of with anybody who attends. So this would be something like a training or with maybe a parent meeting, whatever version you needed to share it without having to have somebody go directly into their email and open it and pull it open. Now, here it will tell you what type of sharing access people will have if you copy the link right now. Right now, it would be restricted. Only people who are added above can open this, even with the link. So you would want to change that, and you can change it to just various descriptions. Anyone with link means that you don't have to have an APS email to access this document. That's great if you're sharing this with parents as a resource because they don't have APS emails. And then you can also change what kind of access that people with just the link will have. And then you just copy and paste it in any email, any message that you need to communicate this with people. Now, again, that is the exact same here with Google Docs. Finally, I just wanted to quickly go over Google Forms, and this will be very similar to how you have to do this with sites. But what you're going to do is not just push send, because if you push send, it will send them the link to the form, but if they don't have access, it won't let them open it. And so that's what you have to be careful of. So you're going to just click here on settings, and that's where you can control who accesses this form. When you have this little check mark, it means only people with an APS ID or email can access it. And if you unclick it, it means that anyone with the link can access that. And again, if you're working with this with parents, then that's what you're going to need for them to be able to fill out this form. So you just need to control which option you'd rather have and push save. And now when you go through to send it with a link or with an email, then people who are meant to access it will actually be able to access it. Again, that's very similar for sites. So you're going to have kind of those two methods of sharing it with people. So that was just very basic. If you need more information or have specific questions about the different Google programs, please let me know and we can create a video for it. Thank you so much.